I'm a rock star. Every day I rock hard. I'm a motherfucking rock star. Every day I rock hard. I'm a rock star.
Rockstars, I'm Aly, your Rockstar bar girl, and sorry for any noise in the background. Of course, whenever I want to film, everybody and their mama wants to like go in and out of their apartments, and like airplanes and helicopters are flying above for some reason, so forgive me if there's any noise. Also, please excuse the very dramatic face makeup. I just got a new makeup organizer. Once you clean out your makeup bag, of course you can't help but like play around in it. Anyway, this video is a two-part video. I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about hair in the hospitality business, things that you should keep in mind, health department stuff, etc. And then I'm gonna talk to you guys about my natural hair journey. And what I am going through with my hair right now. First of all, hair in hospitality. I just recently posted my video on tattoos and piercings in hospitality, and I'll link that above. I think it's going to be over there, so I'll link that above. But basically in that video I just answered a few viewers who were concerned about whether or not tattoos and piercings would be okay in the hospitality industry. And in that video I mentioned that we could put big hair, colorful hair, alternative hair into that category, and that gave me the idea that I should maybe elaborate on that a little bit more. And in particular I'm talking about like health department regulations. While the hospitality industry is generally speaking way more open to alternative ways of dressing, alternative appearances, colorful hair, big hair, you always see food service workers, people working in kitchens, working on the line, tying their hair back. They do that because they are required to do so. If your hair is shoulder length or more, the health department requires that you pull it back into a ponytail or under a net or under a hat or something like that. But of course, you know, when was the last time you saw a bartender with their hair in a hairnet? Maybe you see servers with their hair pulled back, but when it comes to bartenders, it's even less frequent that you see any type of like regulation of a bartender's hair. Why it's the case that servers and bartenders are kind of exempt from that, I don't know. Certainly I'm grateful for it, because I don't think I could be in this industry if I had to wear a hairnet, or if I had to always have my hair pulled back. Like, that's just not gonna work for like my stilo. So I feel really weird talking about natural hair in the same conversation as like purple hair or a mohawk or something like that. I think it's flat out fucked up that it even has to be a topic. This should not be a violation of anybody's dress code. Like, just imagine this, right? Imagine that you are a white person, you're a white woman, and you've never dyed your hair or done any chemical treatment to it. So therefore, your hair is natural. Imagine worrying whether or not you would be denied employment as a result of that. Like, that is fucking crazy, if you ask me. This is the hair that's growing out of my head naturally. This is what it is like naturally, and I should not have to harm it with chemicals or straighteners or hide it under fake hair in order to be deemed acceptable. Certainly, I shouldn't have to do that in order to be deemed worthy of employment. So I find that super frustrating that I even have to include natural hair in the conversation of whether or not certain hairstyles will be acceptable in your work environment. But such is the world that we live in. As if you have colorful hair, if you have, you know, wild alternative hairstyles, or if you have natural hair, because I guess that's crazy to some people, you could run into some issues in different work environments, especially if they're high-end or very formal environment. If you're worried about it, you can follow the same steps that I talked about in my tattoo video. You can Google and look up the restaurant, Yelp the restaurant, to get a feel for what the staff is wearing and what they look like. And then on your interview, you can bring it up to your interviewer and ask them about whether certain hairstyles are okay or what have you. So if your future employer tells you, actually, yes, we do have restrictions on hairstyles, we don't allow unnatural colors, or we don't permit natural hair, or whatever, you generally have more options for what you can do about it than your tattoos or your piercings. Obviously, with your piercings, the only option that you have if your employer takes issue with the piercing is to take it out. And then obviously with tattoos, there's tattoo covering capable makeup out there, but depending on where the tattoos are and how excessive they are, that might not really be like a reasonable thing. With your hair though, it should be a little bit easier for you to make the decision to be accommodating of a particular bar or restaurant's restrictions on hair, right? If your hair is purple, then, you know, maybe if you really want that job, and this is totally personal, I'm not telling you to do this, you have the option to color your hair something else, or, you know, maybe even wear a wig or a hairpiece to cover your purple hair until it's not purple anymore, or whatever. But you do have more options when it comes to hair that can allow you to be accommodating. You don't really have those options when you are natural though. So that's another gripe that I have with the idea that natural hair wouldn't be acceptable in a work environment. So all in all, I would say that the hospitality industry is definitely more flexible and open when it comes to alternative hairstyles. But there are health department regulations that your employer and you will have to keep in mind and might impact your ability to wear certain styles. But if the end goal is to get employment, you might have to do some tweaking of the way you wear your hair to make that job happen. So if you found this video helpful, and I hope that you did, definitely give it a big thumbs up. To make sure that you do not miss out on me posting that next video, make sure to click on the bell at the top of the page so that you get notified whenever I post a new video. If you have any questions, post them down below in the comment section, and of course subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at rockstar_bargirl. If you're interested in learning more about my natural hair journey, what has brought me to this point, the products that I'm using, the products that I want to use, all of that stuff will be covered. So if you're interested in that, then definitely stay tuned to part 2, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, rock stars.
I'm a rock star.